This is a presentation of Moving Forward in Education, a Learning Manifesto by Neil Williamson. I have three main passions when concerning education. The first one is I like to make connections with students and colleagues. Secondly, continually grow and develop my understanding and skills of teaching. Lastly, provide as many worthwhile and meaningful learning experiences that will inspire students and colleagues. When I talk of making connections, a few points that I'd like to share are making connections develop a positive learning culture and environment. Obviously, very important to develop an environment for students to learn. Also, it encourages collaboration and open discussions. It forces creativity. It allows people to work together and to move in a positive direction. And lastly, it leaves an impression in learning that could last a lifetime. It's always nice to have students come back and say, I remember what you taught me, and I thank you very much. My next passion concerning education is growing and developing. I always look for something new to learn or try. I've tried to find resources and explore abilities that I haven't mastered. And I also like to practice fundamental learning and teaching methods. When I learn something new, I use what I've already learned to try to build upon that experience. The last point I'd like to share with you concerning my passion in education is how I love to inspire students and colleagues. I like to share videos and presentations, performances, and literature. Some of the videos that I've seen in this class I've shared with my students, and I've even had them experiment with me on some of the ideas. I also like to provide opportunities for performance. This is very important. Kids need to be tested and they need to feel the pressure of performance. And lastly, give feedback that supports growth and learning. They need to know what they did well and they need to know what they need to work on. And I would want them to do the same for me. Now we're going to discuss emerging issues in digital learning and leading. One of those issues is ideology. A lot of teachers have trouble with moving to technology. They either fear it or they're unmotivated by it because of a lack of training, or they're uneducated about it and they just are scared to understand. And those issues are fueled by these issues: professional development and training. There needs to be more quality training and professional development. We need to reach teachers in a more meaningful way. Another problem is differentiation. A lot of older teachers have trouble using technology and they're slower at it. And then you have young teachers that are very quick to pick up on it. And lastly, frequency. Providing the training over and over to help the teachers track their progress and growth. And to mention a few other problems we have is hardware, software, and funding. Accessibility is a real issue, especially in poor schools. Standards using PC, Macs, and Google sometimes can be confusing. And then funding, well, getting 101, that's real difficult, although utopian idea. Now we're going to talk about problems in the educational system. One is the accountability and ratings. The way that we rate schools today is really unfair because of the types of students everyone has, which leads us to social justice. Social justice needs to be followed to help those students that are in poor neighborhoods have a better chance to gain better learning. State standardized testing is also a big issue because it's one test for people of varying levels of abilities. And then teacher recruitment and retention. This is a real serious issue as it's hard for people to want to teach because the work that's involved and the amount of pay. The time money ratio doesn't really work out. And that's something we need to address. Lastly, we're going to talk about education and digital learning. Uh, the importance of this idea is, discovery and learning. That's how digital works. Also communicating, collaborating, working together in groups, using different types of technology. Time management. It can save teachers a lot of time in education from grading homework and things like that. And then preparing students for the 21st century workforce. This is absolutely important as everything is going technology these days. To conclude, moving forward in education, there's several things that I need to think about and to commit to in order to take my profession to the next level.